Hi, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll walk you through the complete construction process timeline under a FIDIC contract, from the very first tender document all the way through to the final release of the performance security. Let's get into it. It all starts with the issue of the tender documents. The employer, that's the client, in FIDIC terms, issues these documents to a number of contractors, who then compete against each other to offer the best price for the project. Once the tender documents go out, the tender period begins. This is simply the time between issuing the documents and the deadline for contractors to submit their bids. Now, 28 days before that submission deadline, we hit an important milestone called the base date. So, what is the base date, and why does it matter? First, it's the reference point for changes in law. If a change in legislation happens after the base date, the contractor may be able to claim for any increase in costs that results. The contract sets out cost indices and calculation methods built around this exact date. Second, it's the reference point for currency exchange. Say the contract price is quoted in US dollars, but the work is actually being carried out somewhere with a different local currency, the Gulf, for example. If the tender documents don't specify an exchange rate, then whatever rate the central bank of that country published on the base date is the rate used for the entire project. The base date is also the cutoff for site data. Before this date, the employer has to hand over all the information they have, subsurface conditions, hydrology, environmental conditions, so contractors can price the job properly. And even after the base date, if the employer gets hold of new site data, that still needs to be passed on so the contractor can refine their pricing. Once tenders are submitted, there's a gap while the employer reviews the bids, negotiates, and picks a winner. Let's say contractor A wins. They receive what's called a letter of acceptance, the formal document confirming the contract award. This letter sets out the final contract amount and the completion date, based on everything agreed during negotiations. Now the clock starts ticking for contractor A. Within 28 days of receiving the letter of acceptance, they need to deliver a performance security to the employer. I've covered performance security in more detail in another video. Check the link at the top right if you want the full picture. While that's happening, the contractor starts mobilizing, bringing in staff and resources. If they need an advance payment to fund that mobilization, they'll need to provide an advance payment guarantee first. Meanwhile, the employer is getting the site ready to hand over. Once everything's in place, a commencement date is fixed. This is when the contractor officially starts work on site. From there, the contract runs for a fixed period called the time for completion, which ends on the contractual date of completion. That's the date, set out in the letter of acceptance, by which the contractor is supposed to finish and hand over the project. Of course, in the real world, delays happen. They can come from either side, employer or contractor. Where the employer causes a delay, the contractor may be able to claim an extension of time, along with the costs tied to that extended period. That's a whole process on its own: delay statements, an updated program, supporting documentation, all to establish the revised completion date and the cost involved. I'll probably make a separate video just on extensions of time down the line. Once the works are actually finished, the tests on completion are carried out to confirm everything meets the contract requirements. Once those tests are passed, the employer issues a taking over certificate. This certificate might flag a few things: some outstanding work still to finish, maybe a few defects that need rectifying. All of that gets addressed during what's called the defects notification period. Throughout this period, the employer notifies the contractor of any defects, and the contractor is responsible for completing outstanding work and fixing those defects. This period is agreed at contract signing, commonly 1 year, though it can run longer if needed. It can't, however, be extended beyond 2 years in total. Once every defect has been remedied and all outstanding work completed, the employer issues the performance certificate. This is the final certificate confirming the contractor has met all its obligations. And within 21 days of that certificate being issued, the employer has to return the performance security that the contractor originally provided. And that's the full construction process timeline under FIDIC, from tender to final release of security. Just a quick note: everything that happens during the time for completion itself, monthly payments, inspections, variations, claims, all of that runs on its own separate timelines, which I've covered in 2 other videos. Links are up top and in the description. I hope you found this useful. If you did, give the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching, take care, and see you in the next one.